Hey, what's up, YouTube? My name's Chris. You read the title. It says Mexicans aren't really illegal. And I'm going to get into it today. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little bit of our history. And I got a little bit of video evidence, and I know there's a lot of protesting going on. And I just want to educate the public, just the ones that are out there that maybe starting riots or whatnot, and maybe to be able to use a little bit of knowledge to know what you're protesting about and to be a little bit more knowledgeable instead of throwing rocks and causing a big scene and burning down cars or whatnot, So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So uh, basically, um, what I'm going to tell you is that Mexicans originated from Utah, is our ancestral land. Most people don't know that. They just say this is stolen land. You took it from the indigenous people, this and that. And and it's not really stolen. We're gonna go ahead and get into that too. We were conquered. We were beaten in war fair and square. Whether it was by disease, whether we lost, whatever it was, we still ended up losing the war, and but the crazy thing is though, even though we lost, I just wanted you guys to know that where our birthplace was, and it's in Utah. The indigenous our indigenous side of Mexicans. Most Mexicans are probably like 40% indigenous, 40% European, and a little bit of this and that or whatever, But we're originally indigenous and half Europe, and we're now half European. But I just wanted you guys to take a little bit more pride in the indigenous side. You know, we 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 lived. We came. The Aztecs talk about they came up north, and they came from a place called I can't really remember the exact indigenous word that they had for it. I can't pronounce it. The video evidence will show you and probably be a little bit more clear. But we left Utah in the 1200s. We were probably even there from 1100, maybe 1,000 after BC, 1100. But we were close. We were friends with the Utes. The Utes speak the Aztec language because we did trades. But we ended up. The Aztecs believed that the birth of their people came from 7 caves, and we left the cave because of prophecy. The prophecy was that we were gonna find our new home when we see an eagle eating a snake. Uh, we were gonna, and we ended up leaving. I just want to give you a little bit more history and just a little bit more pride on our indigenous side. Not taking away anything from our Spanish or European side, but we came from Utah. We traveled. We fought a whole bunch of other tribes. Just we had to survive. We traveled all the way down into the jungles of Mexico City. That's where we built our pyramids, our city, Tenochtitlan. We we fought all these other tribes just to survive. We had a fight, and we had to go. You can't even really imagine maybe even the ambushes of just like traveling down the road and maybe just running into another tribe and having to fight and to survive, or just going down into Mexico where there was a lot of tribes and having to fight all the way through the jungles and not really knowing. And then we ended up in Mexico City. We saw the eagle, eating a snake on a cactus on the swamp, and that's where we decided to build our land. You know, we built a city on a lake. Uh, we built pyramids astrologically aligned with the stars because we were really good at astronomy, you know, and so, you know, as we know, uh, the Europeans came in about the 1500s. They gave us a whole bunch of we were introduced to smallpox. Um, they were after our gold, um, and after we realized they were after our gold, after we chased them out, uh, the King Montezuma decided to send some of the tribe back up to our homeland. And so, I mean, we traveled all the way to Utah, all the way to Mexico City, and then we had to travel all the way from Mexico City to Utah in the 1500s because we were trying to hide the gold from the Europeans. And, you know, I'm about to show you a video which will probably do a little bit better explaining than I did, you know. But before I play that, you know, I just wanna get you guys to take a little bit more pride in our indigenous side. You know, I'm Mexican, but I go to the reservations. Um, I have an eagle feather. I'm gonna do a little bit of sage. You know, this is for my indigenous side. I take pride. You know, do a little smudge. Just want you guys to know that it's okay to be indigenous. You know, to take pride in our indigenous side. Don't forget it. A lot of people are confused that, you know, that in order to be a Mexican you have to speak Spanish, when really that wasn't our first language. That's not our original language. You know, we fight against each other a lot because we don't speak Spanish, and honestly, sometimes I think it's a blessing because if you didn't grow up speaking Spanish, maybe you would be more in tune with your indigenous side. Yeah, I did a little smudge. I got sage. You know, I got some sweetgrass. I got some bitter root. You know, I stay prayed up. I stay blessed up. You know, but you know, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being indigenous. A lot of people nowadays take more pride of the European side, and there's nothing wrong with that because I like both sides. And honesty, you know, our conquistador side. Oh shit, it's still going. Excuse me. You know, our conquistador side. You know, we came into the jungles of Mexico and we went all the way up to Utah to chase the Aztecs and, you know, to find the rest of the gold, and we had to come all the way back down and bring the gold. So, I mean, on both sides, we're really strong people. I think it was a really good mix. And if you want me to be honest, I think we got conquered. I think we lost the war because of religious beliefs. I mean, this is just my opinion. In the Bible, it says that we're not really allowed to. We're not. There's only one God. You know, we're not supposed to be worshiping many gods. You know, and when we were colonized, we were introduced to the Catholic church. You know, we were introduced to Jesus Christ, and for that reason alone, we were, you know, sacrificing and praising our indigenous side. We were praising many gods and stuff, and I think the reason we lost the battle was because we were meant to be introduced to Jesus Christ. But I just don't want you guys to forget our indigenous side. I know a lot of people are wrapped up, and it's cool to speak Spanish or whatever, you know. I just a lot of people, you know, say you know, Mexican, this and that, and the Spaniards are the ones that called us Mexicans. We were the Mexica. You know, they couldn't say Mexica, so they called us Mexicans, and that's how they named the city Tenochtitlan. They built the church over it and everything like that, and called it Mexico City. But I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and show this video to you. We'll go ahead and play it.
Dear Triathlon, let's take on iconic trails.
Okay, it's a little ghetto, but I don't really know how to do the laptop version or to put the other videos on. Maybe when I get a little bit more advanced, I'll be able to make a better video, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
So I'm headed to meet a local historian who's very knowledgeable in the Aztec culture.
Local historian Julio has taken James to the archives to examine ancient maps for clues as to the path the Aztecs might have taken north with their gold while fleeing the Spanish.
Mexico City is basically here, and they kept going up north.
Through the desert.
They had to take their treasures with them, and it was very difficult for them to go just up straight north because they couldn't go towards the Gulf of Mexico because it's jungle there. So they would have headed a bit west through New Mexico, Arizona, and then they ended up in the region of Utah. Years later, Spanish explorers came to the same area of northern Utah, and they made a map of something incredible they discovered, and this is that map. So here in this map, we can see the north of the region of Utah.
What does it say here?
It says, de los contornos de esta laguna, dicen haber salido los indios mexicanos a fundar su imperio. So from the shores of this lagoon, the Indians of Mexico went out to found their empire. This is a place of origin in that region of Utah.
What Julio translated from this map is quite possibly the most incredible findings I've ever heard in all of my Aztec research. It basically says that the Aztec people originated in Utah. For years, the historians were wondering, why would the Aztecs bring their gold to Utah? Well, it was because they were bringing it to their ancestral homeland.
So this is speaking about the origins of the Aztec people. They all came from Chicomostoc, which translates as the place of the seven caves.
According to their legends, the Aztecs' ancestors originated in a place called Chicomostoc, or the place of the seven caves. Though the exact location was lost long ago, this Spanish map places Chicomostoc in Utah.
This is a drawing of Chicomostoc.
Holy! So here we can see the seven caves, the mountain, and we see the desert plants on top. You even see these people using a coyote skin, and that's totally from the north.
Julio has shown James an Aztec illustration of Chicomostoc, an underground civilization that was believed to house the 7 tribes that formed the Aztec people, a location they left in the 13th century to form their empire in central Mexico. For James, this is the first time he's seeing this depiction together with the Spanish map that states that Chicomostoc is in Utah.
This drawing is incredible. There's all these details, but what stuck out to me the most is that there's these 7 caves. Utah history is filled with rumors of a Mormon gold mine with 7 entrances, known as the Lost Roads Mine. Last year, we were tracking clues to the Rhodes Mine through 7 caves.
It's 100% there's a cave. This is definitely a mine shaft.
I think you're right on the money. We have a keyhole cavern system underneath Blind Frog Ranch, and it's 90% the same thing. I think when you put it all together, it just helps solidify how important all this evidence is. Not only could Blind Frog Ranch be sitting on top of the gold, Blind Frog Ranch could be sitting on top of the lost civilization of Chico-Maztac. I have got to show this to Dwayne. He needs to hear it, see it. This is major. What's been going on? What have I missed?